I felt like I was a runaway train. It's tough to say, but for myself, I can look back on it now, being out of it, and saying if I had continued down that road, I fear that the worst may have happened to me. Maybe a police suicide or something like that. Policing is exposure to incidents where you've got, domestics every day, tense situations every day. It's a slow burn that continues throughout your career, where you're constantly dealing with stress, constantly trying to manage conflict in other people's lives. And often in your own life, you forget about it. You neglect your family, you neglect, the people and things that are important to you while you're doing the slow burn as you keep going. That happened, and without me realizing it, I developed some pretty significant problems. Health problems, mental problems. One that a lot of people suffer with, and a lot of police officers I know suffer with, is anxiety. Anxiety and depression. I didn't have a proper worldview. I didn't understand how to deal with the things that I was dealing with properly, and I didn't have proper outlets for myself, for my mind, my body, or my spirit, to be able to cope with the problems that anxiety and depression were giving to me. What I did do was turn to alcohol. Alcoholism was part of my family. My mother battled with the illness, as well as my grandparents on both sides. So this is something that I learned at a young age as a coping mechanism. And it was definitely a downward spiral that continued for the better part of a decade. How it affected my morale. How did I affect the organization? Well, it certainly was not positive. I had a lot of anger, a lot of pent-up issues that I hadn't dealt with personally. So I became one of these, typical employees that will try to spread misery throughout the platoon. Anything you can be negative about, you're going to try to be negative about. You're going to try to bring other people down to your miserable level, because misery loves company. What happened? What happened for me? Mainly, I realized that I couldn't keep on that way. We got an email through our master distribution list saying anybody who is interested in this program, it's like a holistic health program. So I said, you know what? I got to do it. It's sitting there in front of me, and if I don't fill this out, these are changes that I want to make. I really don't know where to start. I'm kind of lost, so I'm going to put it in and see what happens. And I got accepted to the program. So what the program did for me was force me to focus on the things that I had neglected for so long. My mind, my body, and my spirit. I credit the program for coaching me and giving me the tools to be able to do it. That being said, it could never have happened if I didn't want it to. I was ready to make changes in my life. I personally chose to fix things. The way I looked at the Real You program was as coaches. They would take you, evaluate you, and they would tell you, this is the area where you need to work on. These are ways that you need to look at things differently. So it's changed my life. What it's like now is I feel like a new person, and how that affects my job and how I relate to people within my organization is completely different. And they can see the changes in me too. They can see the physical changes. I lost 30 pounds. But more importantly, they can see the mental and emotional changes. They can see that I'm a positive influence now, and I'm somebody that people will come to when they're having hard times to look for answers as to how to get themselves out of a rut. It's a daily battle to continue down this road and stay positive. But that being said, I feel prepared to be able to do it.